Hey garden friends, welcome back to Flower Patch. Today we are going to go out in the garden and get a lot of little chores done in preparation for the big storm rolling into California. It's supposed to be like 5 days straight of rain, rain, rain. Thankfully it's not snow. Tomorrow we're supposed to get almost 3 inches of rain. So I have seeds to plant, I have pots to move, I have roses to prune back, I have to get the door on my little bespoke greenhouse. You get the picture. So let's get rolling. First, the door. See if I can do this by myself. I might have to get my husband to help me. Oops. All right. Oh, drats. I think that has rusted in there. Yep, pliers. So let's see if I can do these. Oh. Oh, rats. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. There, we got it. Oh, where did it fall? Oh, I had to call in reinforcements for the door. I lost the one pin as I was trying to get it out, and then the other one is lodged against a screw. So I just need help on how to get that to work. So I called in my engineer husband. Oh, here he comes. I didn't know how many minutes your minutes were, so I started somewhere else. Keep on. We got the door fixed. Or I should say, he got the door fixed. I tried to help. Yep, he found the other pin immediately. We had fallen inside of the greenhouse, which I was not looking. I was looking outside. So, okay. Over here is, they've got some phlox. I need to dig up. These are the white phlox that really start spreading by underground runners. So I want to dig these up, and then I want to put them in a big container, and that way I can enjoy their beauty. They're so sweetly scented. They bloom beautifully. I just don't want them to run and come up everywhere. So putting them in a large container will do the job. I already dug up some that were over here, and yeah, that's all working. I think I do want to pull up these raised beds. Can you see the little Hummer? Oh, he had landed on the fence. And I've got a handle on the gophers on how I can treat them, so I can get rid. I did it to protect the the plants from the gophers. And so I don't think I need that anymore. Unless I wanted to do, I could use them as nursery beds, which means I can seed it and then dig up the seedlings to place around the garden. The cool weather annuals, that will work well in these raised beds, because then I wouldn't lose where they're at. So that's an option too. So maybe I'll give that some consideration before I totally move them. Okay, so back here is where I have my dahlias. Now what is in this container back here? Let's see. Oh, this was a lily, I do believe. So I can put that in the ground. As I said, I've got a handle on the gophers, so the things that I was protecting in containers I can put out and risk. Okay, so this is the other Bobo hydrangea I had out here that I was doing well, and I left it in the ground. So I can dig this one up too and put in a container somewhere. The others, I have a video on how I dug them up. They were dying over here. I had them in front. I've had these things 9 years and they've never done well for me. Other people, they've done great. So I don't know what my problem is here, but the Bobos don't like me. So I did put them in the containers. It seemed to resurrect them a bit. And so I have hopes that maybe they'll do well in a container, or I'll find somewhere they will do well, or I'll just give them away to somebody who wants to give them a try. Okay, let's get these dahlias dug up. Now, this is super easy for me because they are in containers. I planted them in their pots, and I will put that away in a moment. All my, those things, I can just stick it in the ground here and it'll overwinter out here, or I can put it under the deck. I think I'll just stick it out here because I do use them out here, and I can just pull it from this section. Okay, I'd already pulled up one pot that was full of dahlias, and if you see one of my secret cottage garden videos like in September, you'd see how beautifully these were blooming back here, and they are in pots. So yeah, I'm gonna go get my cutters. I didn't grab them. Cut the stems off and compost those, and then I'll probably I'll wash the tubers off and look at them, make sure nothing has gall, and then I will repot them probably in a little bit bigger pot, or I'll divide the tubers, one or the other, and then replace the one section of the tubers in this pot and then plant the other section in another pot for next year. These are the David Howard. They're a beautiful orange. They're the flower that made me fall in love with orange in the garden. So yeah, let me go get my cutters. So, yep. I'll just stand over the pile here. I think you can still see me. Alrighty then. So those are done. Now I'm going to leave this for another day before I do that, because I can do that later, and I just want to hurry and jump in and get all these things moved out here while it's not raining. Tomorrow's going to be a big rain day. I can work indoors and what have you. I have a rose right there I want to get planted. It is a rose I dug up to save because the gophers had been eating it, and it's doing beautifully, and I want to get it back in the ground. All right, so I have a big pile of debris that I will take care of in a minute. This I'll set over here because I want to spray it off, so it'll be here where I can see it. All right. I really need to get one of those cameras that will follow me. Okay, this is one of my tree roses right here. And I won't leave it out here to get snowed on because it will bend it over. But in the winter, I just really prune them back hard to just the framework. This is going to go, I'm going to set this on the porch of my primrose cottage so that the heavy snows won't get on it and bow it over. In the years past, I have overwintered them on my back deck. Not my back deck, my side porch that walks around, where I did a lot of my videos when I showed my rose cottage garden. I try to get it fairly even around here. Eyeball how I want it to grow. Okay, those are crossing over each other. I'll cut that one out. This one in the middle, crossing over. And then I just basically try to make them of uniform size. Okay, this one's already got a little bud poking out right there. So yeah, I want to encourage more buds over here, more limbs. So, because it's a little wonky, but that's okay. This one will spread out there. All right, so that's one tree rose trim back to the framework pretty much. All right, I'm going to put it on my deck of my porch of my little cottage. Set this where I will not lose it. Right there, that pot. It's heavy, so I'm not going to grunt to pick it up. scoot it over in that back corner when I get a chance. So my other one, I haven't pruned yet, is right here. And I don't know, I'll have to drag it, it's so heavy. And later on I'll get my hubby to help me move it, but it's got little buds on it. I hate to cut them off. This is going to be a warm storm, so I could leave them for now. And then once it gets super, super cold, then I can go ahead and prune this one back too, like I did that one. Maybe I can drag it over there. Let me see if I can drag it up the steps. My husband will see this and say, "Why didn't you call me?" But let's see, I think I can do it without injuring myself. It was tough, but I did it. Okay. Let me scoot it over in this spot. Step back here. All right. Perfect. It is leaning. That's okay. I could straighten it up by tying it to this post like that. Entirely doable. All right, I should have put my hair in a ponytail. I didn't think about it. Oh, well, okay. Another tree rose up there. I think those will be pretty. I have another container like that to put that one in. And I should do that, but it doesn't have to be done today. I want to focus on this and get it cleaned up. I do have some plants to get in the ground at the same time. So I need to figure out, I could leave the bobo in there till next year and dig it up. Or I could do it now, but I don't have a container for it. So that's why I'm hesitating in moving it. So I could try. I never did try it in the one front flower bed. So I could dig it up and just give that a whirl, and maybe it'll do great there. It might be the spot it wants, and then all is good. So, okay, I guess that's what I will do. I will dig it up, put it in the front. It feels so good out here. It's not icy cold. I mean, it's probably near 50 or a little over 50 degrees, but there's not an icy chill to the air. Okay, I wanted to dig up this phlox. You know, it's not that big. I could probably leave it. I'll just leave it. I could always dig it up next year. All right, let's get back. I want to get a few inches back from the hydrangea. Came up so easy, it tells me it didn't have a good root system. Deeply embedded down there. Got a bunch of the oxalis around it. So, okay. I think these are still, it's awfully dry. I wonder if it's completely dead. Let me cut into it and see if there's any live stuff in here, or if it totally died. Okay. Oh my goodness. It doesn't look like there's anything alive. I'm cutting into it to see if any of these things have green. Well, that looks moist there. That one might have some life in it. Okay, that one does have a little bit. Okay, that one does too. I'll come bring this up and I'll show you what I was looking for. So, let me see. Do you see this right here? Well, hopefully that's focusing for you. There's a little bit of green. If it wants to focus on my face, that's what it'll focus on. So I'll put my face next to it. So right there, there's green on that. And that tells me there's some life in it. Yes, all of these have some life. So I'm going to go put this up front. Well, it didn't take you long to plant that bobo hydrangea. I planted it underneath the dogwood tree, but where the sun will come in at an angle and get on it. Now the struggle with that is you have big trees, they suck up all the water. So I have to make sure that I have a nice sprinkler head there to give the bobo hydrangea the water it needs, and hope that that's a good spot for it. I got up there and I just got going. I've got things to do today. So many things to do that I need to be judicious in what I have to film. Okay, so the pile. I need to pick up that pile. I don't know what my neighbor's doing down there, moving his truck around, noisy truck. Okay, first I need to get back to that area and finish it. Then I can sow some seeds. I have white swan echinacea. I have winter sown them before in containers, but I've also grown them directly in garden beds, and I want a bunch more to put around all of my gardens because they are a great mid and late summer bloomer when my daisies are done, pretty much, and they will bloom a little bit more with deadheading, but it's not as, that piece trying to land on the lens, as prolific. And I want that white in the garden, and the white swan echinacea provide that where I want it. It's a great perennial. They just get bigger and divide them. I have a couple over in this bed that I started from seed, and I think they get a little bit too much shade, and I'm going to dig those up and put them somewhere else too. But right now we're focusing on getting that bed cleaned up, and I will continue on there. Back to this bed. I'm trying to maintain my attention in one area. That's hard for me. Okay, so I'll bring my shovel over here in a bit. I need to put these sprinklers close to this bed. I need to nip back this smoke bush there, because I want this to be just the tree and up here, and I'm trying to keep it to a certain size. I don't want it to get big. I don't like them big. They're not very pretty big to me. They just look kind of scruffy. Okay, let's see. Now this was one of my planters, window box planters, that I had on the deck rail that never did well. And then come to find out the soil I used wasn't the best. And even though in years past it had been the best. So yeah, the alyssum probably seeded in there, and probably so did the petunias. I'm just cutting them off. I'm gonna let that compost down here in place. I have a little bit of ivy in here, but I had thought I would go ahead and plant strawberries in here. I have a friend, and he has a bunch of strawberries along his deck rail planted in planters. And he was able to get strawberries all season long, and I want to do that. Now, my Eversweet will continue to bear through the season if I take care of them. So I am going to go ahead and replace the soil in this and put the strawberries in it, but not today because I'm going to continue cleaning. So my strawberries I want to dig up are over here, so I'll sit over here by them, and then it will be ready to roll. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this support back here and let it winter here, instead of putting it underneath the deck and then having to come get it in the spring. All right, out here I do have my crepe myrtle, and hopefully it made it. It was looking a little rough. When I planted it, it was super duper hot. So they're a pretty tough tree though. And I know where I can get another one if, oh no, that's alive. Perfectly fine. Okay, I'll leave it be. Okay, so this bed, this is an echinacea in here. These don't normally overwinter for me. They are gazanias, but I'm going to put them back in the back lane garden and see. They might do just fine. I was meant to get these put out actually down at okay, I knew I bought these for a certain specific reason, and I can plant them down there by our Kingdom Hall. Yeah, it was in the bed. That's where I wanted it, and they will overwinter there. So rather than letting them die here, I will put them out, and I'll make me a date to take them down there and plant them. the bed down there needs a good sprucing up anyways. So that's a good idea. All right. So I'll put these on the porch of my primrose cottage. So I have an iris in here that I do not remember putting in there. And these are some gladiolus, gladioli, however you want to pronounce it. And here's a small support. Now, I guess I will go ahead and use this as a garden bed. That's a ground cover that I never got planted. It looks like it died. I'm going to just dump it out. And you can fill this bed. Okay, I've got some larkspur coming up in here that I don't want. This can go in the trash. So I will cut this back. Now this is a sterile hybrid, so I'm not worried about these seeds, but they're not viable seeds. Some of the specialty hybrids of the echinaceas are not viable, meaning the seeds will not grow anything. They're sterile. So yeah, we'll get that cleaned up. I guess I'll wait and see what that iris is that got put in here. It probably was when I was trashing and when I was filling this raised bed with garden debris, it was in there and it just came up. Let me see how deep it is. I might need to lift it because if they're super deep, they won't bloom and then I won't know what it is anyways. Yeah, it's really deep, so I need to dig that out. Anyways, so let me get this. I'm going to throw these down there. A lot of things I will let compost in place, especially this time of year. And I will just move some of that soil there that got dumped out of that container where I transplanted that rose over top of it. And then it can compost in place. And that's a nice daisy that I'm going to trim back now. And sometimes I just go down and do it in increments so it just falls to the ground. And we'll be down there to compost in place. I want to make sure that I keep my sprinklers in an area that I don't miss them and then accidentally cut through them. I've done that before. All right. More oxalis. The bane of my existence, but at least the chickens love to eat it. Okay. So over here is my Echinacea, which is a cross between a Rudbeckia and an Echinacea. And I got it really close to this other Echinacea planted. This other Echinacea doesn't look like it's happy. So, okay, more larkspur. I don't know what that was, but it just got pulled up. All right, let me get that iris out of there. I'm going to go ahead and cut the Echinacea back. At least the dead flowers. Had a bunch more blooms on it. All right, and I'm going to bring in some more dirt to put in here, or that compost, turkey compost that I have, once I have dug up that iris. Alrighty. So I'm almost out of battery, so I'm going to hurry up, just get this iris pulled up, and I'll go in and switch it out. The battery. Must have got caught on the metal below. Yeah, that was way too deep to bloom. So. Now, one thing about it, if I want to, next year I'm going to plant more vegetables in amongst my flowers. And this would be a great spot in late winter, early spring to seed lettuce. Lettuces, radishes, stuff like that. So this may be a really good bed to do something like that. And then, as I said, start some echinaceas in here this fall, right now. Okay, I'm looking around. Yeah, I've got another iris coming up over here. And none of them are supposed to be in there. Very interesting. Okay. That being done, now I need to go change the battery and I'll plant these somewhere else. All right, time to tackle that debris. And since most of it is rose canes, I know you can't see me, but I'm running to get my rake. I do try to use something other than just my hands and arms. So here is a plant I gave away, and I need to take it to the person I gave it to. I just haven't been over that direction in a long time. Okay. So, yeah. All right. That's a paper bag I was putting some things in. Alrighty. Okay, I got the majority of it now. My compost heap is over behind Primrose Cottage on the back hillside, so that's where I'm taking this. This I'll set down here and gather up the rest. That I missed. And that, oh, I think this is my forsythia. That I never got in the ground because I didn't know if I wanted it in the ground. I have such little space. I have to be very picky about what I have in the ground. I should give it away. That big chore done. More little things. Basically, these can go in the chicken pen. You'd be surprised at how fast things compost down when they scratch and poop on them. All right, let me see this piece too. All right, I'll throw those in there and get my ladder or my step stool. All right, let's see how high up I can get. This is just one of those kitchen stools, which will work well out here if it doesn't sink too far into the ground. And I create another pile. Oh, it's wire. Had wire there to help hold it up. Close to this. Okay, let's get up here. Now, why I don't want it to stay over top of it or much is the snow catches on it, and then it makes that top heavy. And if we were to get an excess of snow, then yeah, it prevents it from shedding well. And I want it to shed off of this. Not that this one's fairly sturdy and has been through that 9 foot of snow we had 2 years ago, but still. That one's off. Anyways, that's my Colette, and I can trim it back, but yeah, it's very thorny, and it never has done that well. We get late freezes, and it seems to really hate those, so it's not super hardy in this spot. I know Laura, Garden Answer, hers does beautifully, but you know, they don't usually get the super late freezes like we do in May after you've had a warm up. So hers does much better. So even though she's a much lower zone than I am, well, I think she's zone 6 and I'm a zone 8. Yeah, it's because of my local conditions that it doesn't do well here. So I know it's rooted through the bottom. It's in a pot, but it's rooted through into the ground. I could cut it back and move it and see where it likes its new spot. And then go ahead, I want to get a cutting from my iceberg and get it planted over there. But that wasn't on my list today. I wanted to get this basically tidied up and things moved so that it's ready for winter, and then I kind of have a head start for spring. And that's my plan. So yes, this needed to be pruned. I got that one last thing, cane to do, and then I'm going to go in and have lunch because I'm starving. Alrighty, lunch was good. So it's time to continue out here. Now this is my Peruvian lily, Alstroemeria, that I need to get in the ground. So I'll move some of these aside. I do want to move this heuchera. Wow, this just, I wonder why it's sitting above the ground. I wonder if the gophers were after it over here. I know I had some gophers in here too. So I'm thinking maybe right here would be a good area because I've got a hosta there. My head's not in the way. This blue star creeper, I want to dig some up and plant it over that direction in the rose cottage garden, maybe under some roses. I've got this weed, which I don't know what that is, but looks like the blue star creeper is choking most of it out, which is what good ground covers will do, and this will get little blue flowers on it. So I'm going to dig up some of this. I'm going to replant this heuchera, which is so strange. It looks like, it does look like it got chewed off, but look, it's still alive. Tough rascals, aren't they? It's a beautiful purple. Okay, so let's stick it in here for now in case I don't get to it. At least I know it will continue alive. One of my terracotta little watering things. Okay, get that. Put this in the basement. Pull that weed out of those. Okay, so I'll get my shovel and we'll plant that right there. Yeah, staying focused in this one area when I have so many things to do, that is hard for me. Let's see if I see a gopher tunnel. I may have to spike it. Is that one? I don't know, but okay. This is a sprinkler. Let's see if I got this deep enough. Oh, foxglove coming up there I don't want there. All right, Alstroemeria. I think you can see down here. Yeah, this has been needing to get planted out all summer long. Why does that have a big gaping hole in it? I don't know. Let's see. Make sure this is the right size. Perfect. So it'll come up between these two hostas. And if I must, I can cut back some of the hosta leaves to make sure it gets has plenty of space to shine. So I've never grown one of these in the ground. I've only had them in pots. So I'm hoping the gophers don't like them and won't bother it. So I didn't mean to pull up that blue star creeper there. All right, so that can continue on. I will dig up a chunk of this blue star creeper from right here. I just cut around it in like a square shape and got a big chunk. Now I'm going to go put this over underneath some roses in the rose cottage garden because it'll make a great mulch. Instead of mulch, you know, it just chokes out the weeds. But the the symbiotic relationship that this helps create with the microbes in the soil benefits the soil. So it's even better than mulching all the time. So as far as building your soil health. All right, I'm going to go plant this. Now, blue star creeper does prefer in the heat of the day a bit of shade. So it will get shaded out by the towering plants around it, even though that's more of a sunnier area now. At least it's worth a shot. And I'll show you where I planted some last spring. I'm feeling drips. Oh no. Sorry if this is wiggly. See, this is the blue star creeper down here. And you see how it's filled in underneath this rose. So yeah, perfect for here. And this did get a lot of sun, so it just did great. Probably got plenty of water, had enough, a little bit of dappled shade to keep it just right. So I am going to go and plant more of this up over there where I just transplanted some roses. And let's hope the rain holds off a little bit longer because I can't have my camera out here. Alrighty, I got a bucket of compost just to put in this raised bed so I could seed those Echinacea and other things. Give it a good top of compost. Something was already coming up in there. Looked like mostly larkspur. It's one thing here, larkspur I can sow in the fall and it comes up beautifully just like many other things. So once I'm just going to seed this with the Echinacea. I'm going to space them 6 inches apart. And then I'm just going to let them water in tomorrow. We're supposed to get a deluge, so I'm not worried about them being watered. I need to empty that bird feeder. I'm going to empty this really quick so the seed in it doesn't continue to mildew and molder. I need to bring my bird feeder out here that has a roof so that they can eat without it getting wet. I could leave that as a watering thing. I'm trying to figure out where I can hang it. Okay, so this could go in the trash. I probably can plant this lily just directly in the soil and let it come up next year. Right here. Yeah. All fine and dandy. Okay. So there we have that. So, okay, let me see. Let me look around as far as what else needs doing. I need to move that rose. I'll probably move it over here. There is some irises down here that have gotten extra buried. And they don't like to be that deep, so I need to get them kind of exposed. More exposed. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, I can put that rose over here. And just call it good. We have another potted plant here, which I'm just going to put in the soil. I have a bunch of debris there where I was just throwing it down so the birds can get the seeds in there. So it had seed-bearing plants that I know they will enjoy. All right, this one I will get transplanted somewhere else later. Okay, garden friends. Well, I did what I could. It started raining where I couldn't have my camera out there. And so we had to pack it in. But I got my forget-me-nots planted. Now, these are ones I picked up at Bouchard Gardens. And I can't remember. It's called Indigo Blue forget-me-nots. So isn't that a beautiful color? And what a beautiful keepsake from Bouchard Gardens. I also have other seeds. These things need to be washed, taken in. I have some seeds I wanted to start. Let's see. The Black Beauty Poppy, and I went and spread that out in my garden too. I put it in the entrance garden in an area that really didn't have anything special there. It was kind of leftovers from different things. I thought these would be gorgeous in that spot. And poppies do very, very well for me. And these are the 2 forget-me-nots that I planted in the artist garden and spread them around a little bit of the other beds so it kind of created some cohesiveness in the entrance garden. But these are Victoria Blue forget-me-nots. And you see that one? Hopefully it's focusing for you. Anyways, so those 3 plants I got out there. And I couldn't find, I know I have that Echinacea, but it's probably in my packet of seeds or box of seeds I have in the house. It's not out here in these seeds, which these need to be taken in or put in the basement where they will be kept warm, not warm, but cool and dry. In here, it tends to get a little too moist. But I do have called Happy Star Echinacea. This is also a white one, which I put out there. And let me see. Let's see, seeds emerge. Let's see, plants grow 3 to 3.5 feet tall, sturdy, long-lived, will bloom from July to October, winter hardy to zone 3. Packets, 30 seeds. Did I ever start any of these? I might have already tried to start some. Does it say how far apart to plant them? No, but that's okay because I was planning on doing it just 6 inches apart anyways, and then I could dig them up later. I will go do that without you because I don't want the camera in the rain. So I hope you enjoyed this little look at me rushing around in the garden, getting it ready for all the rain for this next week and the seeds I got out. There's other seeds. I'm going to dig through all my seeds and see what I can put out in this season. There's a lot of cold hardy annuals that I can, not annuals, but cold hardy flowers, perennials and annuals, I could seed right now and they will come up. Now, these are not, I'm not going to put out there, but I am going to start some of these inside. Maybe I should try to start the snapdragons because they said to reseed themselves. I know I had some last year. Recommended indoors 8 to 10 weeks. When to sow? Cold climates 4 to 6 weeks before your average loss frost. See, yes, so I could do it. Before your average loss frost. Mild climates late summer to early fall for winter and spring bloom. I'm considered kind of right there, and so I think I will sow these also there, or I don't know, I'm debating with myself whether to start them indoors to have a whole bunch of these orange. These I wanted in the artist garden as well. Snapdragons have done very well for me. How tall do these get? I don't want very tall plants there though. Let's see. See depth, thinning, date sown. Where does it say? It doesn't say how tall they get. All right. Oh, back flap, peel back flap. Okay, so inside it says, 30 to 36 inches tall. That's a little tall. So I'll have to think about that one as far as where I want that after all. All right, so I'm going to go get these planted. I will see you in my next video. Also, I have, if I haven't gotten it posted yet, where I show you how I take leaf cuttings from African violets and start them. I have a nifty little trick that works great. You can also just put them on your windowsill. But I'm going to share that with you. And what else do I have? Oh, I have up on my painting website, and I don't know exactly when it'll be up, but it will soon, and I'll tell you. I have a snowman welcome sign that I am posting on my website. I think I have the video already up. Why I didn't get the website or the blog post up with all the step-by-step instructions, I don't know. Oh, I also wanted to tell you really quick, I want to plant some basil to go in my house. So I'm going to get a little pot, a pretty little pot, something like this that'll fit on a windowsill and or on my light shelf, and maybe a smaller one. Maybe I'll do a couple. This one will fit on my windowsill, and I like the shape of it, and I love terracotta. And I'm going to have some basil so that I can pick from it to season food. So got that too. Also, there's so much going on that I wanted to get done. The geraniums, the red geraniums on my back deck. One container I pushed up underneath the side porch overhang, the roof, up against the house to see if they will overwinter. They're supposed to overwinter for me, but they never have, the pelargoniums. But I also have the other container. I don't really have a spot to move it up against the house. I'm thinking of digging those up. I think there's two big ones in that container, and bringing them in here. I had thought of just bringing the whole container in here, but I really don't have room. So yeah, it's the same ones as these. I hated to just let them die. They were so great. But we'll see. We'll see if I get to it. If I don't, it was no big deal because I bought those on Bargain Rack of Lowe's very cheaply. I had enjoyment from them all summer long. I've gotten cuttings from them. I still have this one I could get more cuttings from to start. So it's not the end of the world if I don't get to it. So I have to prioritize right now. I'm sure you do too. All right. I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye.